Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a fun video for you guys today. A little bit negative. I don't do these super often on my channel, but I have accumulated a couple of purchases over the last, I would say mostly over the last 6 months. There might be a couple things that trickle back a little further than that, but these are all things that I regret spending my money on. A lot of these products are drugstore, and as I was thinking over, okay, what have I bought and tried over the last 6 months? I haven't done a lot of high-end stuff. I think I did a little bit of stuff before Christmas time and then a more recent Sephora order, and that stuff I'm still kind of working on right now. But boy, have I gone crazy with the drugstore makeup. So there's a good mix in here. All of these products disappointed me a little bit for one reason or another, which we will get into in this video. But before we do that, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I hope that you enjoy this video. Please consider subscribing before you leave and make sure that your notifications are turned on. With that said, let's jump right in. Let's start out with something that is very recent. Now, this I recently tried out, and I actually am not disappointed in this product per se. It performed really well for me until I sat down afterwards and realized I basically already own this palette. It is the Deja Brew palette, which I just tried out I've had this for about 3 or 4 weeks now, but I just posted that video about a week and a half ago. Here's the palette right here. I tried it out in that ColourPop video that I did. I did mention that I thought it was a little bit more cool tone than I typically like, but here's what I discovered, you guys. As I was trying it out, I thought that reminds me an awful lot of the That's Taupe palette. So I pulled out my That's Taupe palette, and you guys, these are basically the same palette. There are some subtle differences between these two, but very little. I even did a couple of like side-by-side swatches. For example, like this shade right here compared to this shade right here. I mean, they're like almost exactly the same, or even this shade down here. They're just so similar to one another. The mattes are very similar. I do think that the shimmer, the lid shimmer, is very different. This one is a little bit more of a traditional metallic. It's a great formula. This one's one of their like super shock formulas that are kind of more of like a sparkly, creamy texture. It's very pretty. It's a little bit more glittery than the one in the Deja Brew, but other than that, you guys, these are basically the same palette. You really do not need both of these. If you have the That's Taupe, I would pass on the Deja Brew. Honestly, you could flip a coin, get one or the other. They're both great if you're into your cool tones, but you definitely don't need them both. There's some crossover there. It reminded me once again of why I get tired of ColourPop sometimes, because when you're releasing that many eyeshadow palettes, it's bound to happen. A lot of recycling goes on. Let's keep with the eyeshadow palette theme. The next one I'm so hesitant to mention because I was really hopeful about these palettes, and there is a couple things about them that I really love, but I just can't get along with the cream shadows inside the LA Girl On Cloud 9 Bounce eyeshadow palettes. Now, I'm so sad about this because I had such high hopes of these. As soon as I found out that LA Girl was doing some creamy matte eyeshadows, I'm all about the creamy mattes. I love them. At least from Nabla and Natasha Denona, occasionally Huda Beauty, so I was excited to see a drugstore brand attempt this formula. Unfortunately, I've tried these many times, even with the primer underneath. Unless I'm using the tiniest amount, they crease on me pretty badly, which I was very upset about. The colors are actually beautiful. I have just 2 of the palettes. This one is the Airy Taupe, and then this one right here is the Breezy Nude. I like the color stories of both of these, and I love the shimmers inside of these. They are stunning. They're very sheer and sparkly. They remind me a lot of some of my favorite shimmer or glitter topper or sparkling foiled shadows from Natasha Denona, which I absolutely love, and I've never seen a drugstore brand that got close to mimicking that thin, multi-dimensional sparkle that is so beautiful. And these do a good job of that. So I do recommend these for the shimmers, but the mattes just don't work for me, and I was very disappointed in that because, again, I just had such high hopes for these and they just didn't work out for me. I do have one more eyeshadow palette, but I first want to mention another thing from LA Girl that I thought was so terrible. I didn't even talk. I bought this to try out in a video, and it wasn't even worth trying out in a video because once I swatched it, I was like, no, that's not gonna work. And it is the Shimmer and Sparkle highlighter. This one, I don't even know if it has a shade. I think it may have just come in one shade. The packaging of this, I mean, it looks very Charlotte Tilbury. It feels high quality. So I had such high hopes when I got this. I was like, oh, LA Girl, stepping it up. And then I was a little afraid. I thought, oh, there's some glitter in there. And then I swatched it and I was like, yes, indeed, there's a lot of glitter. And it's also kind of like chalky on the skin. Way too glittery of a formula for me to use on my cheeks. I mean, this is like, I can't get along with something that has this much glitter in it. Initially I was thinking, well, maybe it'll make a really pretty eyeshadow, which I still thought I'm not gonna keep this around for just the single eyeshadow that it could be. But I even tried it on my eyes and I thought it looked a little bit chalky, and I have other shades like this. So very disappointing, especially because the packaging is so pretty. If they would have nailed the formula in this, oh man, you guys would never hear me shut up about it, because the packaging, which with drugstore makeup, normally I don't even think about the packaging, but once in a while when I see a drugstore product, this packaging feels like they really stepped things up. It's kind of a big deal, especially from an affordable brand like LA Girl, but man, I'm so sad. So sad the formula was way too chunky. The next disappointment that I have is from Wet n Wild. It's Color Icon Bronzer. This one's in the shade Ticket to Brazil. So I tried this out in a Wet n Wild video that I did last month, and I love the shade of this bronzer in Sunset Striptease. In fact, it's one that it's on my desk today, and I think I've been using it just about every day since I filmed that video over a month ago. It is like my favorite bronzer right now. It is so, so good. I can tell I'm gonna hit pan on this thing really, really quick, but this one is so orange. If you have very fair skin, I mean, it's obviously a lighter shade. In fact, let me just show you Sunset Striptease, which is the next shade down from Ticket to Brazil. So here's Sunset Striptease. I don't know if that's coming across on camera. I feel like they look similar, but the yellowy orange hue in this is very, very strong, and it really comes across on the skin. If you have quite fair skin, let me know if this shade worked for you. I just have a hard time imagining there's very many skin tones that this would look flattering on, but what do I know? All I know is what works for me. It's to the point that I don't even know that I want to put this in my declutter pile, because I don't really want to give this to someone, have them walking around with yellow stripes on their face. So let me know. Maybe I just got a bad one. Back to eyeshadow palettes. This is probably the one that will be in the thumbnail of this video. It's the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I've actually seen a couple of people mention this in like things I regret buying or makeup fails or that type of a video more recently. And I like the color story. I don't love it. It's definitely not like in the running for my top 5 Natasha Denona mid-size palettes for sure, but I like it. It's the peachy pinks are pretty. It makes kind of a fun spring eyeshadow color. The biggest thing with this palette, you guys, is that it makes my eyes water like you wouldn't believe. I know I talk a lot about my watery eyes, which only water in certain situations. It's either a makeup product that's irritating them, or I'm outside in the spring in Utah, like watching sports or something, and that dry, cold air and breeze just makes my eyes water like a faucet. But typically, on your average day, if I'm just hanging out inside or running errands, my eyes don't water all that often. This thing, I've worn it quite a few times now. I think 5, maybe not quite 10, but I've definitely more than 5 times. And every time my eyes water like you wouldn't believe, to the point where a few of the times I couldn't even make it to the end of the day. I felt like I had to just wash this thing off. I've even tried sticking with different sections or like color stories, like sticking with the roses and then sticking with the peaches, maybe going all light and then not reaching for some of these darker shades. And still, it just makes my eyes water, and I don't know which particular shade is doing it, or if it's just I don't know, if it's just something about these colors. I've never had that experience with Natasha Denona's eyeshadows before, but I am kind of sad about it, because it would be one thing if I spent $69 on this eyeshadow palette and I kind of like the colors, but not really, but enough to where maybe I'd reach for it once in a while. But it's to the point now where I feel like it's a hazard for me to reach for this ever, because my makeup is just going to run right off of me. So very unfortunate. I hate to say that about my beloved Natasha Denona. I love the packaging of this one. It is so, so pretty, but I just don't think I'm gonna be able to reach for this one really at all. Okay, my last 2 products are face products. The first one being high-end. It is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. This has such good reviews. I've heard quite a few people say they really like this. I do like the foundation. I don't know that I am as wild about it as some people are. I like it strongly, but I don't know. It takes a lot for a foundation to really impress me, especially when I spend a lot of money on it. I have extra high expectations, and if it's not beating out my affordable foundations by a large margin, I'm just not gonna be all that enthused that I spent $40 on it. So this primer, back to the primer, I don't know what it is about these kind of primers. I don't mind them. I just don't feel like they're doing anything for me. I mean, you get that sensation when you're putting on, it does say it's silicone free, but it has that silicone feel, if you've ever tried a silicone based primer, that feels very like a powdery smooth as you're putting it on. But I don't see that that translates to making my makeup look any smoother or last any longer. It definitely doesn't give me hydration, which is the biggest thing that I think I need from a primer if I'm using a primer. And I just don't get the smoothing effect that some other people seem to say that this has. I do have some texture on my skin. I could definitely use some smoothing to help me out a bit. I just am not really seeing it. I've tried several times. I've tried really inspecting this, using it with different foundations and really looking up close, looking throughout the day. And I don't know. I don't see a difference when I use this and when I don't. So to me, it's just kind of a waste of, what, 40 bucks or so. And my last regret is one that I have tried really, really hard to love. And I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And that is the E.L.F. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I feel like so many people love this. I love the price tag of this. But I actually think I like their glass bottle foundation and also their CC cream, which is a little bit more expensive than this one, more than I like this foundation. It says it has medium buildable coverage. I don't find it to have medium coverage. It's just not one that I like built up heavy on my skin. I don't think it looks very pretty if you have to add too many layers to get the coverage level that I like. I don't know, I just don't love this. I wish that I did because it is affordable, they have a good shade range, you can get it just about anywhere, and lots of people are talking about this, but I feel like I'm missing something. Honestly guys, I'm not even that picky with foundations. I feel like I generally like most foundations or can get most foundations to work for me, but it's probably my least favorite foundation in my drawer right now, and I have a lot of foundations, and some of them I absolutely love and some of them I like. But this one I just like, I don't know that I can say I like it. Okay, and that is it, you guys. Those are the makeup products that are regrets for me. The ones that didn't work out, the ones that if I could go back and know what I know now, I would really like my money back. Even for some of this stuff that was only, I don't know, $5, $10. Stay tuned, we may do this again soon. I actually have a couple of products from Sephora that I'm trying out right now that I feel like they might end up in one of these videos in the future. I hate to give that away because I haven't even filmed that video yet, but I don't know yet. The jury is still out on both of these makeup products, but I will keep you guys posted. So let that be a little spoiler. Stay tuned for that video coming up soon. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to do that before you leave, but that is going to do it for now. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.